Thanks for tuning into the Conscious Hour. Big question for you. Do sovereign nations have the right to protect their interests? Logically, yes. So then let me ask you another question. Why is it that the United States and Israel claim that Iran is the problem? Iran's never had nuclear weapons. Iran hasn't gone in and invaded any other foreign countries. You see, the narrative that you're getting in the United States is we have been invading countries ever since Vietnam for one goal: seize the assets, resources, gold, whatever. We're like the robber barons. And the irony is that this military industrial beast of predatory raiding and pillaging countries has come to its final moment. Iran, a country that's over 5,000 years old with 8 diverse cultures and never went out and attacked anybody, wanted to be left alone. But since 1953 on, oh, the robber barons, the bankers, they want that asset. They want to control it all. And so let me ask you a question. If you were Iran and you had that happening to you, you aren't the problem. This other entity is. So listen closely, because what you see in the news isn't being talked about. And my question is this. I was a mediator for many, many years, set up federal advisory boards, always brought consensus advice together because that creates solutions. The ceasefire, the permanent ceasefire, will only happen if Iran agrees, because Israel won't ever agree, and they've broken all of them. So just listen to this one. This is a good one.
It was mostly, achieved within the framework that Iran determined rather than the U.S. For example, in the context of Iran's nuclear program, what we're seeing is that it's basically what Iran has already had as its doctrine, which is no weapon, like no nuclear weapon. And Iran is a member of NPT, which means it has already signed that it will never seek to develop nuclear weapons. So it's,
So hold that. Now everybody's been saying, you need to put your nuclear weapons down. You've got nuclear weapons. It's all a lie. Iran doesn't want nuclear weapons. They don't want war. The only maniacs that want war are the military-industrial complex, and they're the ones that have the nuclear weapons. But yet they're kind of reflecting, oh, Iran's got nuclear weapons. Hey, what if they did? Maybe that's the equalizer, because then they would blow you up, and then you just settle down and go back and live in the whatever psychopathy you're in, where you're like killing your own people.
Is not giving a commitment beyond what it had already declared. But then when Israel breached the ceasefire, as they always do out of habit, in Lebanon, there were a lot of talks inside Iran. And the other thing was also the Trump's threatening rhetoric, but also saying that he's not going to give Iran even 10 cents, which basically means that at least 2 of the articles of the Memorandum of Understanding are already violated. So there were a lot of disagreement inside Iran, and a lot of people said within the different political fractions that this should be enough for us not to go to Geneva, not to go to Switzerland, to continue with the talks.
So basically Trump's saying, we don't want to pay you anything, we're going to keep all the money. And by the way, if you got gold over there, we want to take that too. And you got oil over there, we want to take that too. If you got your Strait of Hormuz, that is legally it's your country right there, that waterway. But we want it. Just get out of the way. That's what's going on, folks. Your tax dollars are funding this thing, and if we go to a full world war, you know who did it? The United States and Israel, and its allies, some of its allies that are still hanging out there wondering, are we going to a full war?
Team of the negotiators' argument was that we're going to go there to negotiate about the ceasefire in Lebanon. And that is why they refused to take pictures with the delegation. That's why they said that until the issue of Lebanon is resolved and until Israel withdraws from Lebanon, we're not going to continue with the negotiations, because as we know, the MOU was the initial step that was going to pave the ground for a 60-day of ceasefire. And then through these 60 days, the two countries were supposed to negotiate over other issues that Iran was not.
And so what did Israel do? They just keep on bombing. And Trump goes, well, Netanyahu, would you settle down? Netanyahu goes, screw you. I don't care what you want, Trump. I'm in control. Netanyahu is the one that will bring it down to Armageddon. And then you get J.D. Vance saying, oh, well, we've got a deal here. No, you don't have a deal, J.D. Vance. Anytime that these mouthpieces that represent Trump are saying, oh, well, we've got a deal, and every time it's been turned around, it's bought more time so they could rearm, and then they come back and attack. How many times have we been doing this? You go back to the start of the unprovoked attack, the biggest lie that was ever perpetuated on modern television. And they had how many ceasefires, and they just kept delaying and delaying and delaying so they could rearm, come back, and keep on killing. Have you had enough? Pick up the phone, do yourself a favor, and call your congressional representatives and say, hell no, stop it, shut it down. And if we want a peace agreement, the one that's going to give us a peace agreement is respecting the sovereignty of Iran. Period. J.D. Vance, Hegseth, all of you have no right to go into a foreign country and create this much, fucking havoc in the world because of greed. This is 2026, folks. We've been doing this same old military-industrial complex ever since Vietnam. And Vietnam could have been avoided, but it was about profiteering and every other war after that. So, what are you going to do? Speak out. Because if you don't, and we go to a world war, the world economy, you will not like it at all. Prices will skyrocket. Food will be shortage. There'll be shortages in the stores for food. Massive starvation in the world. Because of what? Because of what? Because of greed. Because of a small little country the size of New Jersey who controls this huge country called the United States of America, military-industrial complex, is the Diablo. It's the devil. So it's time to wake up, folks. This is the Conscious Hour. It's your Conscious Hour. It's our Conscious Hour to do one thing. Speak out. Please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. Please make comments. Get this algorithm out there. I've been held back. Sure, I've been held back. There's a whole nother story because they know who I am. And I've done a lot of good work for this, my American government. That's another story, folks. This is the Conscious Hour. Thanks for tuning in.